Hi, my name is Rick Smith of Sweet Fountains, talking about the DCD-150 hot chocolate drinking chocolate dispenser. The unit can be used for a variety of things. It's not limited in any way to drinking chocolate. You can use it for chais, butters, cream sauces, syrups, anything that's drinkable, fairly thin. It needs to be heated and agitated. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to set up the machine. Just going to show you a few little parts, and then we'll actually start the beginning process of melting down or heating the milk, and then we'll come back a little bit later with the showing how the product's finished. So this is the base of the unit. The unit comes in 4 finishes: silver, gold, black, or white. It has 2 thermostats. It has a general thermostat here, and it has an overriding scald control on the bottom. I usually tell people I highly suggest just maxing that out. Just put this one's kind of, it's for employee if you don't want it to get too hot. But I really strongly suggest just maxing that out at 120, and then controlling your thermostat here. But if you do need the overriding thermostat, you would just adjust this to a certain temperature if you never want it to go above that temperature, and then this would override this thermostat. But start off, we've got that one set up to max. We're going to be doing some melting. So I'm going to go ahead and max this one out too. We don't suggest long-term operation with it at that temperature, but for melting the product, that's a good temperature going. This is your bowl here. It's a polycarbonate bowl. This spout does come out for removal. All you need to do is pull this peg out, and then these parts come apart for cleaning. We're not going to do that right now for time, but the bowl comes up and sits on here. Now it's very important that the bowl you lock into place, because if you set it like this, it's not going to heat properly. So you want to take it and feel how it locks into position there. You want to lock it right down there. And then the next portion is, this is your drip pan. And so the drip pan is nice. It's nice and clean, so when you're cleanable. So when you use it, you do that. This just drops into place here. And then your cover here, where you can set a cup or whatnot, just slides into place there. Once again, that's all cleaner. These are NSF approved machines, so they do meet the National Sanitation certification. And next portion here is your paddle. Now remember, you never want to do anything too thick in one of these machines, so you don't want to, because this paddle does, you'll see in a second, it turns and rotates. Now as you drop your paddle on, you can reverse set it on, or if you set it down and if you're having any trouble getting it on, I actually just hold it in place, turn the machine on, and then it'll snap. It'll pull itself down into it. You'll know if the paddle's not on right, the bowl doesn't sit properly. And so if it is on correctly, once again, just turn it on, let it go down, the bowl will just seat right down into the container here. So these are a really nice unit. They're a 5-liter unit. We also have a smaller 3-liter unit, but if you're a daily user, more heavy-duty user, I would strongly suggest using the DCD-150. It's very durable, has good motor, good gearbox, and it really holds up well for a heavier user. So generally, if you're going to use, what we're going to do right now is make a batch of our chocolate calda, which is like an Italian-style drinking chocolate. It's a little thicker, a little more. It's not really to be compared with let's say, an American-style hot chocolate. It's going to be very thick, generally served 4 to 6 ounces. So right now we're going to use a whole milk, and this is a full gallon. You can really experiment. You can go from this bag with this gallon. You can go anywhere from 1 bag to 1 gallon, or you can go as thick as doing 1 bag with a half gallon of half and half or whatnot. So, but we're going to start off. Now it's important to do the liquid first and get it to heat. The problem is if you dump this in and then do the milk, you're going to be putting too much stress on this paddle. This is a slow turning paddle. There's a lot of, you can put way too much torque on it, and that can actually damage your motor over time. So I'm going to do a half batch here. I'm going to do a little less than a little more, I'm sorry, than a half gallon, and because I think that's the recipe I personally like. It's very thick, kind of sets it off from let's say a hot chocolate. We're going to turn the machine on, and it's really simple, and we'll come back here in a second, but for right now what we're going to do is let this run for about 30 minutes, and that's going to bring this milk up to a nice hot temperature, and then what we'll do is add the chocolate in. We'll come back to that shortly.